Darin and Anita on Grand Strand. A music evolution. Now, Darin and Anita with your Grand Strand Artist Spotlight.
Darin and Anita on Grand Strand. Welcome back from a commercial break, folks, and it is that time for our Spotlight interview segment. Every week on the show, our Spotlight interview segment. And on the line with me from the Fantastic Shakers, folks, you've seen this man. He's one of the crazy ones in the Shakers. I'm just kidding there. Doug Winstead. Doug, how are you?
I'm doing great, Darin. Thanks for calling today. I'm glad to be able to talk with you and Anita today.
I tell you what, it's incredible to have you on because I've often wondered, and I tried to get with you at the Carolina Beach Music Awards last year for the CBMZ and do a camera thing, and everything's always crazy down there. But, I've known you for a long time with the Shakers. We were talking about that before we went on the air with back in the Jeff Reed days of the Shakers.
That has been a long time ago. Jeff Reed introduced you and I to each other. And I was just telling you, it seems like I've known you about half your life.
I know, really, it does, and it's how fast time flies now, too. Well, Doug, getting into the interview, I want to find out about a lot of things that have went on in your career, but something I don't know and some of the fans might not know is how did you get started in this music industry thing?
Well, I took piano lessons when I was little, and my mom said I was playing songs, and she said, "You're going to take piano lessons because you sound like you've got talent," and she said I was good. I took band, so I learned how to play the trumpet, I learned how to play the trombone, and then I learned how to play the guitar because I wanted to be a rock and roll star. And I just kept with it all these years, and right out of high school I started playing.
Well, I'll tell you, it's incredible. I knew you played the trombone, and I've seen you do the horns and things like that, the brass stuff, but I didn't know you were guitar and all that kind of stuff, piano and all that.
Oh, you got to do everything. Every time somebody ever quits in a band that you're in, somebody's got to take place and somebody's got to keep it going. And I learned how to do everything a little bit. One of those, what do they say, the jack of all trades, but the master of nothing, kind of.
Exactly. Well, but you got a good point in bands and things like that, because when you do need a feel or somebody's sick or something, you can pick up a lot of the slack in that, just knowing so many different instruments.
Well, I played in a lot of good bands, and the Shakers is my root, it's my home, and there's been a lot of great musicians in the Shakers, and every time somebody quits, you don't really lose them, because you learn from everybody that's been in the band,
right? And
you listen to them, and that's how the band progresses, and that's how you progress kind of as a musician and a singer.
It's sort of like your alma mater, I guess. Like if you were in college, that's you get to go back and you can do those kind of things with the group. Well, I know the Shakers is sort of how it all started, and you got us there. But tell me this. I know in 2003 you had Nero and the Roamers, and also you were with Jody Bunday and the Coco Loco Party Band at that time too. But you had some great songs in 2003 with Nero and the Roamers. Myrtle Beach Days again, great song right there. We still have that in our flashback rotations or not so distant past kind of thing. And the Love Toy, that's got to be a great song right there. How'd that come about?
Well, I appreciate that. It's just songs that you work on through the years, and I had been writing a lot of songs. I really always wanted to be a writer, and just singing songs just came about as you go through the years. But I wrote these songs, and the band didn't have the time to do them during that period of time.
Right.
And you can't talk somebody into recording a song. I said I'll do them myself, and I'll do the best I can. I probably could have done better.
No, I think they're great.
I did the best I could on them, and I put the Nero and the Roamers. I put 10 songs out, and did them myself. I wrote each one of the songs, and I write most of the songs that I've done. I've done a very few covers, but it's all different the way a song will come about.
It is. Well, you make me think back to another alum, I guess you would say, the Fantastic Shakers, Dino Fair. With the Sea Cruise thing, and he said something one time, and this goes into the songwriting thing, and I think it's great when I get to talk to songwriters, is you don't have a lot of folks doing original material where they write. It's mostly cover tunes. But he said one time in an interview I had done with him is that the person who writes the next My Girl or that kind of thing, that's what you want. That keeps the longevity of what Carolina beach music is or soul music together.
That's exactly right. I wish I could write one like that. You sure would wanting to write a song that would hit everybody and that everybody would get to sing along with. That's what it's all about, is writing a song that you play for people and the people enjoy it. That's all
right.
there is to it.
It is, and when you write for that, I think that lets people know you as well as a songwriter. They get to know you, what's coming from your heart in a way when you write songs. Because like the Myrtle Beach Days Again song, I don't know what your thought process was there, but when I first heard it, it's nostalgic in a way because we going back to talking about Jeff Reed earlier when they did Myrtle Beach Days with the Shakers back in the late 70s. It sort of took you back to that moment, let's do it over again. That song really it touched me in a way there. There you go. Really, it did.
That is exactly what I wrote the song for. I was with the band, with the Shakers, and Bo sang Summertime's Calling Me. He was the original singer on Summertime's Calling Me, and he wrote along with Jeff Reed, Myrtle Beach Days.
Nice.
So I wanted to write a song that kind of half and half between the two. And we didn't have the chance to record it back then, so I went ahead and did it. And then Bo was nice enough to go ahead and put it on this last CD that we did, the 35-year CD.
Cool deal. Well, that's right, too. 35 years with the Fantastic Shakers. That was last year, I believe, when all that was going on, or really, I guess, into this year somewhat, too. Ooh, Ah, She's So Fine. Another great song, too. I love that song. I like it a lot. It's got a good dance groove to it. Sort of a good, I don't know, not a Moroccan kind of thing, but it's just got a good feel to it. And you did that with the Coco Loco Party Band. Is that right?
I did that while I was with them. It was basically a solo project, and Jody said, go ahead and do it any way you want to do it. So I said, Doug Winstead with the Coco Loco Party Band. That's my disco song.
Yeah, there you go. Good. It is. This is the disco fit. I was thinking of the merengue kind of thing. I don't know. Something like that. I'm crazy like that. Well, another thing I want to bring up before we get to the new song that's out right now, Falling for You and I Can't Get Up, what an incredible song that is, too, is that you and your wife, Deanna, you've got a wedding facility in Kannapolis, North Carolina. That's got to be an incredible thing there. And probably, I don't know, being on the road, of course, she takes care of some of that, too. You got a lot going on there.
It's a handful sometimes. Like today, we were just talking before we got on the interview.
Right.
I cut grass today. I had to get the place ready. We've got a wedding tomorrow, a Friday wedding, and I'm heading to the beach in the morning. We've got to play at the Galleon tomorrow, so the place has to look really good. So I do all the landscaping and the cutting of the grass and all of that. It doesn't wait for me. I have to get that done. Between that and the band, I stay pretty busy.
I tell you what. Well, and folks, if you'd like to find out more about that and want to see some great pictures of what the lakes look like, all you got to do is go to thelakesweddingplace.com, and we'll have links on grandstrandshow.com for you to get there. Well, Doug, let's get to the song that's out there right now. Here you go. This thing is tearing up the Carolina beach music charts and beyond. Falling for You and I Can't Get Up. And when me and Anita are on the air in the show with that, we have a great time with just the title of the song. And what a great song it is. How did you guys come up with that song? Is that something you had written, or where does that come from?
It's a song that I wrote, and you're not going to believe it. It started out as a folk, like a folk song, and it was just I've fallen and I can't get up. And we were at Somerville playing for the Somerville Shag Club, and I had my bass in my hand, and I started playing this little lick, and I said, why should I do it like a folk song? It was in my head. I said, why don't I do this song like other writers do it for the genre that I know the best, beat music. And I started coming up with the lick, and Chris, our guitar player, Chris Jennings, was standing with me. I said, how's this sound? And I started playing it and singing along with it, changed it to I've Fallen for You and I Can't Get Up. So it started as a folk song, and it ended up as a beat music song.
And it took off.
Well, I'm glad of that.
Yeah, no doubt. It got legs, man. It's a fun song is the whole thing. I think back of the commercial every time I hear, you see on there, I've fallen and I can't get up's where it's going, even though that really has nothing to do with love, I don't guess.
Well, that's what I had in mind, and the song just wouldn't have been right with, I talked Bo into singing bass on the song.
Oh, yeah. And I like that. That little piece of that, him doing that is really good. Sort of takes you back of an old element of, that deep voice from back like Blue Moon back in the old days back in the day.
Well, he can do that. That's for sure.
Yeah, he can. Well, Doug, I tell you, let's just go ahead and give them the new song right here. And if you want to find out about Doug Winstead and the Fantastic Shakers, you can go to thefantasticshakers.com, and we'll have links on our website for that as well. Doug, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to talk with us.
Thank you so much, Darin. And Anita, you guys just keep putting the beach music out there and keep it alive. We appreciate everything that you do.
And here it is, folks, the latest by the Fantastic Shakers featuring Doug Winstead.
And I have fallen for you, and I can't get up.
Falling for you, and I can't get up. Give me your hand. Lift me up, 'cause I'm falling. Help me, 'cause I'm falling and I can't get up.
Darin and Anita on Grand Strand. A music evolution.